We was robbed. That's probably not big news if, like me, you watch 40% of your 401k savings disappear during the Great Recession of 2007 through 2009. Still smarts, though. I could just skip this diatribe and suggest you watch the movie The Big Short and leave it at that, but the film doesn't have a lot of explosions or costume characters in it, so you might choose not to watch. The Big Short tells the whole story of the Wall Street shenanigans that caused the Great Recession, and it tells it in a way that makes you laugh, even as it makes you livid with rage. Ever hear of a collateralized debt obligation? Me neither. The film easily explains such bizarre financial concepts. It's one of the financial gimmicks that were used to bamboozle investors. In essence, it's a bunch of bad mortgages lumped together, given a coat of paint and tied up with a pretty bow. The big banks put them together and sold them to investors as prime AAA-rated investments, backed up by the ratings firms. They weren't worth the paper they were printed on, and everybody at the banks and the rating firms, as well as the mortgage brokers, knew it. It was a scam from beginning to end, and they also knew that when it all came tumbling down, their buddies in Congress would bail them out using taxpayer money. A double hit on you and me. The banks, of course, warned Congress about the coming meltdown well before everyone else, so the politicians could dump their bad investments before the bottom fell out. To add insult to injury, several of the firms used a portion of the bailout money Congress provided to give themselves fat bonuses. Only one small fish out of the thousands and thousands of unapologetic felons went to jail. The government should have been forced to build new prisons to accommodate them all. Unfortunately, many of the same people are also involved in the recent bank failures, which at bottom arise from the same source as all the other financial failures, allowing banks to speculate on risky investments with depositors' money. The first thing the Roosevelt administration did after the Great Depression was pass the Glass-Steagall Act, which separated commercial banks from investment houses because they realized that was what was responsible for the crash. Although it was chipped away at by regulators over the years, the act remained enforced until the Clinton administration caved into Wall Street and allowed portions of the Glass-Steagall Act to be repealed in 1999. And as might be expected, there we went again. Rest assured, no matter what nefarious skullduggery the financial sector comes up with, we'll be required to bail out their failures at some future date because they're, quote, too big to fail, end quote. And just as before, those who should be all over this are whistling a happy tune and looking the other way. Apparently the news organizations are prepared to punt on this story yet again too, even though the information of what was going on in the years leading up to the Great Recession was delivered to them on a silver platter. They chose to ignore it. Either that or no one in the media could understand what was going on, which may be even worse. Your 401k will probably take another big hit, and as soon as the Republicans are in charge again, if we let them, they'll steal your Social Security money and cancel Medicare too, because they need cheap labor, and seniors will fill that bill, and there'll probably be a 10-year-old working the line next to you. There's already legislation in several states to allow that. But by all means, get your shorts in a bunch because of one of their culture war lies, or vote out Biden because he's too old, even though he's the most effective president in my lifetime. Because as my dad used to say, if you can't learn to listen, you'll have to learn to feel.